Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to review Moss Book 2 VR, a game released on the Steam Store October 20th, 2022 by developer Polyarc. It originally retailed for $30, but they did reduce the price to $20. I did buy this game, and I played it on the MetaQuest 3 using link cable on my RTX 3080. Moss Book 2 is an action-adventure puzzle game and a sequel to Moss, and it's bigger, better, and an improvement in almost every aspect of the original. It's twice as long as the original. It took me 7 hours to beat the game, and I would estimate it would take most people 5 to 7 hours to beat the game. With the longer game is a more fleshed out story, more diverse gameplay, and maps with more visual variety. And you even get to play as a different character in this game. Overall, if you like the original Moss, then you will love Moss Book 2. So let's talk about Moss Book 2 and why I highly recommend it. First of all, it is running on the Unreal Engine 4.2. On my RTX 3080, I was getting a pretty consistent 90 frames per second on high graphical settings. And unlike the original Moss here, I did experience a pretty serious bug. Luckily, it was only this one bug and it was easily fixed with doing a restart. But basically, Quill froze and I could not move her no matter what I tried to do. She was on top of a movable platform and that might have caused the bug. However, other than that one bug, it was a very smooth and polished experience, so I'm not gonna deduct from the score for that one mishap. And I really like the visuals in the original Moss, but here in Moss Book 2 the visuals are even better. There's even more attention to detail in all the different maps. The different themed areas are distinct and unique. The art style is just lovely in both these games, and it really makes these worlds come to life. You have dragonflies flying around, you have fireflies in the background, you have a little snow rabbit in the background, or all the vegetation, all the flowers, all the leaves, the grass on the ground. It all really makes the game feel magical. And this is why VR is so special. You just cannot replicate this feeling outside of VR. And the sound design here is made very special with this exceptional musical soundtrack. And it just fits perfectly with the themes of the game. The voiceovers are overall very good. The narrator does an excellent job. However, some of the minor characters might be somewhat off-putting. And I get what they were going for, but I think they might have gone a little bit too far. Anyways, I'll put it at the end of this video and you can judge for yourself. The story is probably the biggest improvement from the first game. I was never tempted to try to skip ahead by turning the page prematurely. I was fully invested in this story. I don't want to do any spoilers, but I will say there are some highs and there's also some lows. There's a whole range of emotions while going through this roller coaster of an epic adventure. And the only reason I laugh is because we're dealing with several mice, but as the reader, obviously you get attached to them. And just like the first game, you have this incredible bond with Quill, but this time her animations are even cuter and her costumes are adorable. Now, the one odd thing about this game is that you finally do control a new character, but it's only for one level. In the winter level, you control Sahima, and it's interesting because you don't have the same bond with her. She mistrusts readers. Your relationship is kind of icy, no pun intended. And she introduces a new weapon. There's 3 different weapons in the game. The original sword, but it has a special ability where you can do a quick long jump. Sahima introduces the chakram, which is like a boomerang shuriken. It's basically a thrown weapon that comes back to you. And with the special ability, you can throw it even farther and have it stay at a position while you reposition yourself. So there's a little bit of geometry at play when you're using this special ability. And lastly, you have the hammer, which is just a heavier weapon. And with the special ability, you're able to pound on some buttons that'll activate. These new weapons definitely add a different flavor to the combat, but their main importance is just bringing new puzzles to the gameplay. So there's new gameplay elements introduced as you progress through the story. And although the combat is simple, it never becomes stale due to the new elements being introduced. And the puzzles are much improved from the first game. There's just a lot more variety here. And as the reader, you're more involved, especially on the boss fights, where you'll have to stay on your toes in order to help Quill. And all the boss fights here are distinct and unique. While not overly challenging, they were fun to beat. And the puzzles had just enough challenge that I actually had to think on a couple of them. Overall, I highly recommend Moss Book 2. While not as innovative and groundbreaking as the original, it is an improvement in almost every aspect of the game. It is what a sequel should be. If I have to score Moss Book 2, I would give it an 8.5 5 out of 10. It is a must experience if you own a VR headset. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my review for Moss Book 2. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the video.
Barnard replied,
"Even a twofold cannot take on their army. Not with a warden forging screechers and scorchers and Arthur knows what.